What's going on YouTube? I'm Evan, this is Marksman Trading, and welcome to my trading journey. Today is March 6th, and it's a small red day in both the futures and the stock account. We're down $2.51, trading three stocks today, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple, and we took three trades on the NQ today, and we're down $29 in the futures account. So let's get into the recap. Alright, so the first trade I took today, it was on Apple, and it was a long in this consolidation, holding this top end of this demand zone and trying for it to hold previous day's close. The thesis for this trade was, as you can see in the daily chart, we've been just dropping. Apple, one of the largest stocks in the market, has not been moving with the market whatsoever, and that's super surprising. As you can see, the past few days we've been gapping down with volume, so I'm expecting us to kind of catch some support in this demand zone down here, and yesterday's price action showed us that we did consolidate at this demand zone. So today I was coming in with the idea that we're going to base out here and then move higher, especially if the market's going to agree. So that's why I took a start down here. When we're kind of basing out, holding top in this demand zone, I had my stop loss below previous day's low down here. So as long as it closed below it and held below it, I'd stop out. So I never really was given an opportunity to scale in more, thankfully, because the trader never really proved me right. It kind of just failed previous day's close as it was holding the demand zone. And it kind of had a tightening range, so it was almost like a breakdown. So probably I shouldn't be taking consolidations when they're kind of having a wedge to them, you know, because it looks more like a breakdown trade than anything else, because it kind of breaks down, retests the low end of it, and then fails further. So thankfully I did stop out the two shares over here at 950 for a small loss. I lost, what was that, 80 cents in the trade. So that's the beauty with starters, right? You don't have to lose a huge amount if you're wrong in the trade. But that was Apple. Let's get to the next one. All right, so here's the second trade I took today. It was a long on Amazon that unfortunately did not work out either. And thankfully, this was on a smaller position as well. Not quite just a starter. I had two scale-ins as opposed to just one starter. And there really wasn't a macro thesis for this trade. It was just intraday price action I was expecting a V-shape to happen at previous day's close because we just straight flushed from VWAP for like 20 to 25 minutes straight. No pullbacks. So I was expecting longs to kind of get, or shorts to get exhausted out, and then for it to move higher, at least back into VWAP. We had a bottoming tail at 10 o'clock, so that told me, okay, I'm going to go in, light size, just to make sure it wants to hold this level. Took two shares at 10.01. Let's see, the average, or the entry price was 174.26. And then I took two more at the next candle at 174.14. I think my mentor pointed out something on level 2. So it was just one more reason for me to kind of scale in a little bit more, but not full size yet because we were still kind of letting go of previous day's close. And then I had my stop loss below, I think it was the prior day's aftermarket lows. Yeah, down here at like 173.80s. So as soon as we broke that and then stayed heavy at 10.05, that's when I exited. Actually, I don't know why I don't have an arrow right there, but yeah, we did exit right here at 54. All four shares because, we gave up previous day's close. For sure it was heavy this time. And then unfortunately, we did actually bounce from that level. But our thesis was still wrong, right? Our thesis was we're going to hold previous day's close and V-shape from it. And so I was proven wrong on that trade, and that was a good stop out, I think, for it. Unfortunately, it still moved higher from the stop loss, but we were underneath previous day's close for about 10.02 to like 10.49. So almost like 50 minutes, just about. So, I think that was an okay stop out, even though it did move up from there. We were still proven wrong, and that's what we're looking for when taking stop outs, and it wasn't on full size either. Okay, so here's my last stock trade today, and thankfully it was a winner, but unfortunately it was still in a starter like the rest were, and this was on Microsoft, and we actually shorted it. So I really didn't have a macro thesis for this one either. I was looking for an opening range break and retest on from the 15-minute and 5-minute candle, or sorry, yeah, the 15-minute candle over here from 939, so rejecting 401, what is that? 401.18. I'll show you guys on the 15-minute actually. Right here, I was looking for a break and retest of this 930 candle on the 15-minute. So that's just a pattern that I've been looking at and watching lately that I've tended to kind of trade well. So I was hoping to get that kind of action today as well on Microsoft. I saw we're kind of, had a higher low, pop up to it, and I was watching previous day's low. And so I was thinking, okay, we might fail previous day's low here, so we might not pop up to the opening range lows. And so that's why I took one share starter over here at 400.65. I shorted it right there, and I had my stop loss kind of above, I think pre-market low was there as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and VWAP, and above the opening range low as well. So all the way up here at like 401.61. So I was kind of scaled in, or kind of, I had risk to that level. If it closed above VWAP and that level and held and moved higher, then I would stop out. And I was hoping to kind of scale in some more, if it kind of popped up higher, rejected opening range lows, I could scale in some more and then have it fade down. But unfortunately, it kind of flushed after I shorted right away, so I didn't have a chance to scale in. But I did ride the starter out pretty well. We captured the meat of this move to the downside, so it was a small scalp, but it was still worth taking. And we exited at 1026 at 399.72. I saw one more kind of flush coming as it fell below the 1 minute 9 and 20 EMAs, and then I covered right there for some. I think I made what 90 cents on that, 93 cents, so almost a point. All right, so here's the absolutely crazy day we had today on the NQ. So as you guys may or may not know, Powell was speaking today. I think he was testifying to Congress or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but he was speaking today. And because of that, I was de-risked. So instead of taking $200 per trade, I was risking only $100 per trade at most. And actually, I think I only risked one MNQ for each trade today because I was extra cautious. The reason why is because sometimes when Powell is speaking, things he might say might cause a pop or a flush kind of out of nowhere. And I don't want to get caught in that if it's going against me. So it's just not worth the risk. So the first trade I took was this NQ long. I was trying to take a V-shape. I took a starter here at 1007, and it was kind of too preemptive even for a starter position because this 1006 candle didn't close above previous day's close. I was looking for a V-shape because we're kind of flushing straight from open. We popped once, but then we flushed down. Couldn't close above the 90 EMA for about 20-25 minutes. So I saw this bottoming tail at 1006. I saw this volume coming at 1004, 1005, 1006. So I was thinking, okay, we're getting ending volume on this last flush for the front side of the V-shape. I saw a bottoming wick here at 1006. So that's why I got in so quickly. But as you can see, we never even closed above previous day's close. And because of that, I probably shouldn't have taken yet because there's no telling if it could have just kept on flushing because it wasn't really holding it yet. So I shouldn't even taken a starter, but I did. And anyways, even the stop loss on the starter was too tight. I should have given it even more room to kind of close below the 1006 candle. But I just took it as soon as it broke. And as you can see, we got wicked right back up, hitting this level down here at like 17,970s. And then, yeah, so I stopped out, unfortunately. So I should have either given that trade more room to work, or I shouldn't have taken that one at all. All right, so thankfully we did actually get right back in at 1009, and we went long again at 17,987. So the thesis was the same as the previous V-shape I took, where I tried to take it at 1007. This time, it was a proper entry. We had an engulfing candle at 1008, and a lot of times when I see V-shapes, and we get this engulfing candle, a lot of times I see the next candle kind of pulls back a bit. And so that allowed me to get this kind of low entry, and my stop loss was now at the lows of the 1007 candle. So if it closed below that and held below it, I would exit. And again, it was only one MNQ, and I was playing for just a pop back above the 1 minute 9 EMA because the previous trade we took a $25 50-cent loss on. So I was kind of looking just to make that back, a quick scalp back up. And in this trade, we made 38 bucks. I got out quickly too at 1012 because on the tape, I did see a quick kind of movement and like an exchange happen. And so I saw that kind of flash in the corner of my eye. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get out, take this profit. And I did, thankfully, because it did flush. But honestly, I could have recycled that one share as it was holding this higher low above previous day's close and had the same stop loss as I did earlier. But yeah, so unfortunately, we did miss a huge up move, as you can see, but still a solid trade nonetheless. All right, so the last trade we took was a lower high short. The thesis for this trade was kind of a opening range break and retest. So we had the opening range over here of like 18,073. We kind of topping out over here as well. We had on the 5 minute some topping wicks as well. And it was kind of a lower high exhaustion kind of play. See how we went straight down, then straight back up. So I was expecting us to have more of a pullback in the 5 minute for a dip back down, at least a VWAP. Unfortunately, that didn't work. We did take a starter here at 11 o'clock after that topping tail at 1059. And we did have our stop loss right above 18,100 where we got stopped out once this candle kind of closed above it, and then this one broke the high of it. And it was a good stop out. Even though we did get this mini flush, we would have barely made any profit. And then we were still wrong in the trade because, as you can see, the market did make new highs today. So I think, honestly, for this lower high exhaustion range trade kind of, it wasn't like the other ones that I took because, as you can see, we did have like 3 consecutive higher lows in the 1 minute. 2 higher lows on the 5 minute. So I don't think it was extended I don't think it was extended enough for an exhaustion move to kind of take place. I think it was still worth taking with 1 MNQ. I stopped out well, but yeah, probably shouldn't have been a trade to take in the first place. I logged it and I journaled it, so I got that now written down as, okay, don't trade setups or don't trade exhaustion moves when there's kind of consecutive higher lows if it's not extended yet. All right, so that brings us to the end of this video. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how you guys did today trading. I had a rough day, but I hope you guys were able to capitalize on some of the price action. We did have some good moves. You know, regardless of Powell talking, we still had some good moves. And so if you guys are looking to trade through Apex, I do have a code now. So if you guys are looking to pick up an eval account through them, they're 71% off right now, and you can pass it in 3 days. You don't have to pass it in 3 days, but they give you the option to now. So yeah, it's a really good deal. Use my code below to get that discount, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. God bless. Peace.